I'm sure this happens to you all the time, whether it's on Sunday brunch or night out with the guys or ladies' night, you're out drinking, smoking, whatever you're doing, having a good time, and you're talking about ideas. Oh, man, I want to do this. I want to do that. We should go do this. We should go do that. And then that's where it ends. That's all where it ends, because no one is actually willing to put the work in to build. It is so easy to create shit in your head and envision shit in your head. And that's where it fell on me for the longest time. Man, it was so easy to ideas. Great idea. But the work, the hard work, the grind is in the building. And that's where most ideas die. But if you don't have resources, you have to do the work yourself. You have to build yourself in order to get this greatness that you think you want, but do you actually want it? And that's why they say success is not about the best idea or the greatest idea or the best solution or the best app. It's not about that. It's whoever can. There's a difference between design and build. And so when my wife asked me, what do I want to see the next 10 years to look like? I didn't start off by saying, well, I want to design the next 10 years to be around this, that, or the other. It was... a couple things to get into before we get into the crux of the show, but they're all kind of interrelated. So just spent the weekend with my family in Dallas. We were exclusive invitees, but because we're actually sponsors of the Exotics Network, we're proud to be sponsors of the Exotics Network, one of the largest exotic car clubs in Texas, eventually the world, I believe, because the two entrepreneurs, Adonis and Anon, hardcore young guys straight out of college, just making it happen, man. Spent the time in Dallas with 40 or so hypercars, exotic cars. Finally got my car back from the shop. Drove to this biggest mansion in North Texas, if not all of Texas, probably 50, 60,000 square feet. Venue, incredible, man. Color guard, July 4th celebration, helicopters, flamethrower, just a bunch of good stuff, good richness around United States and celebrating our Independence Day. Phenomenal time. But if you haven't looked them up, look at the Exotics Network. We're proud sponsors. All my businesses under the prolific Ninja brands moniker. But part of that also was a celebration of my wife and I's 9th anniversary. So Candace, happy anniversary out there. Love you dearly. And so we celebrated that. And one thing that came up in conversation, which is now moving into the topic of this podcast, is, there's this conversation about last night around what do I want to see, in the next decade or so of our marriage or the relationship or whatever. And without going into the details, it really struck home the expression, you design your future, or you design the life that you want to live. And that's really only half a step. There is a massive difference between designing and creating and actually building. Okay? I forever was the ideas guy. Ideas would pop off in my mind. I would design it. I already see it in my mind, how it would be laid out, whether it was a tangible 3D project or like an online project or digital I could already, as soon as the thought gets in my head, I'm already designing the layout, the look, and everything. And for the longest time, that's where it stopped for me. I was a designer. I was an ideas guy. I was a creation guy. That is worlds apart from being a builder, a construction guy, an execution guy. It is a massive, massive, massive difference between design and build, right? If you are just a designer like I was, all you have are ideas that get put on the shelf. But if you actually create and build and execute, that's where the magic actually happens. And it took me the longest time to understand that, unfortunately. And so I'm playing a massive catch-up game right now, which I'm on hyperdrive. But there's a difference between design and build. And so when my wife asked me, what do I want to see the next 10 years to look like? I didn't start off by saying, well, I want to design the next 10 years to be around this, that, or the other. It was, I want to build this over the next 10 years. More of whatever we're building. To give you an example, I referenced the Exotics Network. These are two guys, both computer science and I think engineering backgrounds out of a prestigious college. And rather than getting a career, going on their usual career path with whatever IBM or Oracle or whatever, they just went out and created one of the largest exotics car networks in Texas with designs to go international. They're just building brick by brick by brick by brick. And that's what it takes to create greatness. That's what it takes to create, to realize or actualize your vision. That's why our slogan is actualizing your life. Actualizing your life. We want to actualize it by building. It's like our move into Austin with CuraConnector.com. Again, CuraConnector.com is building a real-time marketplace for the gig healthcare economy, which is matching patients to the exact provider that's going to their house to provide them care. It is gigifying healthcare. And when we wanted to make the move into Austin, it wasn't like, man, we should do this. We should get an office here. It was actually, no, I'm just going to implant myself into the Austin ecosystem and just make shit happen. And now I'm getting connected to all these people that are wanting and willing and able to help build Cura Connector into the potential next unicorn. Meaning, if you're not familiar with entrepreneurialism, unicorn is a $1 billion company, $1 billion value company. Because that's what it takes, is actually building. You got a lot of people. I mean, you do it. I'm sure this happens to you all the time, whether it's on Sunday brunch or, night out with the guys or ladies' night. You're out drinking, smoking, do whatever you're doing, having a good time, and you're talking about ideas. Oh, man, I want to do this. I want to do that. We should go do this. We should go do that. And then that's where it ends. That's all where it ends, because no one is actually willing to put the work in to build. It is so easy to create shit in your head and envision shit in your head. And that's where it fell on me for the longest time. Man, it was so easy to ideas. Great idea. But the work, the hard work, the grind is in the building. And that's where most ideas die, because people are not willing to grind, put in the work to build their ideas or actualize their future life or actualize their dreams, their designs. It's only the people willing to execute and do the boring stuff that actually achieve greatness. Now, you can outsource the build, okay? You can hire people to build, but you got to have the resources to do that. So in many instances, the designs and ideas that I have, I go out and find people to actually build, but that also requires work, because you have to oversee what they're building, because they can you can give them a design and guys can go off and do crazy shit and you won't end up with what you're actually designed. So that actually takes work as well. But if you don't have resources, you have to do the work yourself. You have to build yourself in order to get this greatness that you think you want, but do you actually want it? And that's why they say success is not about the best idea or the greatest idea or the best solution or the best app. It's not about that. It's whoever can last the longest, stay in the game the longest, because they are actually building. And that takes a lot of grit, determination, being willing to do the boring shit to last longer than everybody else that's in the game. And when you last longer, you have higher odds of success because there are fewer people in the game. So we're not even talking about the people that don't even start. Forget them. The people that do start, whoever can stay in the game the longest will actually win. Now, if you can stay in the game longest and go fastest, you will definitely win. So I'm asking you, are you just a designer or a builder? Design is easy, building is hard. Ideas, easy. Getting your hands dirty with the blood, the sweat, the tears, the failures, the frustration, the start, the restart, and the restart. That's hard. It's very hard. It took me a very, very, very long time to understand that simple concept, that it's the builders that actually achieve greatness, not the thinkers, not the designers, not the ideas guy. Come up with great ideas, but you got to execute on them to be successful. Very brief podcast. It's just my mind is here, but not here because of all the things going on in Central Texas. Anniversary, there's just a lot going on. So I want to make sure you understand that greatness is in the building, not in the design. So with that, prayers and thoughts go out to Central Texas. My gosh, the flooding is continuing to grow all over throughout Texas. I think it's in Brenham now, which is not too far from Houston. As the water rushes downstream, I'm not sure what's going to happen to Houston in the Bayou area if these rains continue to come on. There's some theories around how this is happening, which I won't even get into. That's for the conspiracy side of things. But, thoughts and prayers go out to all those that are suffering, whether through loss of life, loss of property, loss of belongings out in Central Texas. So with that, again, we do this on a karmic exchange. If you learned something from this show, if you want to become a builder, reach out. But learning the concepts and the ideas behind building, please do share the show. We want to restore the balance between you and I. If you learned something from the show, please do share the show. If you're knowledgeable, share the show. That is how we grow. And with that, I end the podcast as I end my day with an expression of gratitude and thanks. When my head hits the pillow before I close my eyes and doze off into Never Never Land, I always thank God and the universe for another day to hopefully have been great and hopefully inspire just one person. Hopefully that's you to have been great today. And with that, I want to thank you all for liking, commenting, following, and sharing my show. And then also sharing, liking, or following, or sharing, how do you say, for liking, following, or sharing any of the projects that I'm working on. You can find all of them on the socials. And so with that, I want you to be great today, but be even more grateful. I look forward to talking to you very, very soon.